So dear students, welcome again to MSBTE's e-content for the program Civil Engineering, and the course is Environmental Studies of course code 22447. Welcome again for MSBT Lead Study at your doorstep. Today's unit is Unit 4, that is environmental pollution, and we have to satisfy course outcome D, that is applied techniques to reduce environmental pollution. And to satisfy this COD, today we have to study unit outcome 4D, that is state various units and their functions of water treatment plant. So today's topic is water pollution. Let us have a look at the concept map of today's study. The water treatment process and the treatment of water according to the standards for safe drinking water. And for this, the learning objective is students will know about water treatment process. And for this, the contents are water treatment process and standards for safe drinking water. Now all of us are very much familiar with water. Water is a precious gift of the nature. The water carries nutrients to all cells in our body and oxygen to our brain. Water allows the body to absorb minerals, vitamins, etc. Water flushes out toxins and waste. Water helps to regulate body temperature. Drinking water, also known as potable water. Potable water is the water which is safe for drinking, and it must be free from all types of impurities. We can survive for months without food. We can survive months without medicine, but we can't survive for days without water. And therefore water is very important for the life of human beings, and therefore in the Indian culture water is also called as life. So therefore we have to study about the water pollution today, and we have to study the types of impurities which are present in water. There are 4 types of impurities which are present in water. First is suspended impurities, second is dissolved impurities, third is colloidal impurities, and fourth is biological impurities. So we have to study one by one. First is suspended impurities. Suspended impurities means the impurities which are visible or floating in the water. Those impurities are called as suspended impurities, or the impurities which are suspended with water. Those impurities are called as suspended impurities. The second types of impurities are dissolved impurities. The soluble salts and minerals which are dissolved in water, those impurities are called as dissolved impurities. Third is colloidal impurities. Colloidal impurities means the impurities are very fine and that cannot be seen from our naked eyes. Those types of impurities are called as colloidal impurities, such as fine silt and fine clay. And fourth type of impurities are biological impurities. Biological impurities means the invisible disease causing germs and bacteria which are available in water. Those impurities are called as biological impurities. So these types of impurities are available in water, and therefore the we should treat the water before it should be supplied to the public for domestic use. So let us have the treatment of water. So why there is a need of water treatment? The water treatment is needed to remove the unpleasant and objectionable taste and odor from the water, to remove dissolved gases and color of the water. Third, to remove all types of impurities present in water. Fourth, to kill all pathogenic bacteria which are harmful to human health. Fifth, to make the water fit for domestic, industrial and commercial use. So these are the needs of water treatment. Now we have to see how the water is treated. So this is the flow chart of the water treatment process. So the first step of this flow chart is the raw water collection, or it is also called as intake structures, from where we collect the raw water, and then the next process is screening. The third process is aeration. Fourth process is sedimentation. Next process is coagulation. Next process is flocculation. Next process is filtration. The next process is water softening. The next process is disinfection. And the last process is distribution of water to the public. So this is the flow diagram or flow chart of water treatment process. So these are various units from where water is entered, and whatever impurities are available in water, those impurities are removed through this process, and then the treated water is distributed to the consumer. So let us see one by one these processes. So first is raw water collection. The raw water from river or streams or reservoir or pond, that raw water is collected from different water sources like rainwater, groundwater and water from bodies like lake and rivers. So here the raw water collection is done, and then it will be discharged into the water treatment plant for various treatment processes. So very first treatment process in the treatment plant is screening. So screening is the process of removal of the floating objects such as leaves, branches, fishes, weeds, etc. from the water. The screening of the water is carried out by either bar screening or mechanical screening. The large size particles are also removed from the water through the screening process. Next process is aeration. Aeration is the process of bringing the water in intimate contact with atmospheric air. Now, when the water comes in contact with atmospheric air, then the oxygen which is present in atmosphere get dissolved into the water, and the dissolved oxygen content is increases. And at the same time, whatever the gases which are available in water, such as carbon dioxide, NOx, sulfur dioxide, these gases are removed from the water, and odor and taste is also removed through the aeration. Now, the metal like iron and manganese can be removed by the oxidation of these metals. So, the aeration should be done by either cascade aerator or spray aerator. There are various types of aerators. So, you can remember cascade type of aerator or spray type of aerator. Now, see here how the water is brought in the intimate contact with atmospheric oxygen. See, and that's why there is a exchange of gases. Now, next process is sedimentation. The sedimentation is the process of removal of suspended particles which are higher than the water under the gravitational force. This process is called as sedimentation. And for sedimentation process, the water is allowed to keep at stagnant position for the period of 2 to 3 hours in the unit, and that unit is called as sedimentation tank. So, by this manner, we can remove the suspended matters which are heavier than the water under the gravitational force. The next process is coagulation. So, there are very fine particles which are present in water. Those fine particles are called as colloidal particles that cannot be settled at the bottom under gravitational force. So, how to remove these particles? So, these particles are removed by the process coagulation. So, coagulation is the process of addition of coagulating agents or coagulants such as aluminum sulfate or alum or ferrous sulfate to the raw water to remove the colloidal impurities from water by the formation of floc. So, see here, these are the formation of flocs. So, by adding the coagulant into the water, the very fine particles are attracted towards the floc. Floc is formed and the particles are attracted towards the form, and the size of the floc is increases, and when the size of floc is increases, it is heavier than water and therefore it can be easily settled down. So, this process is a coagulation and flocculation process. So, flocculation is the gathering of colloidal particles into a larger size, means heavier than water, particles known as flocs, which can be effectively removed by sedimentation or flotation. Next process is filtration. Filtration is a process of passing the water through the bed of granular materials. This bed is called as filter media. This is called as filter media. So water is allowed to pass through the filter media. That process is called as filtration. Generally, the gravity filters are used for the filtration of water in water treatment plant to produce the potable water. So this is the image of the filter media for the filtration of water. Then water softening. So the dissolved impurities of calcium and magnesium are removed by various water softening methods. So when the water is hard, then we have to make that water soft by various methods. So the hardness of water is only because of the calcium and magnesium presence in water. So that can be removed. Hardness of the water can be removed by either lime soda process or zeolite process or ion exchange process. By using this process, the water will become fit for domestic use. Water will become softer and it can be used for domestic use. After that, there is a next process that is called as disinfection. So disinfection is a process to kill the disease causing bacteria. Disease causing bacteria means pathogenic bacteria. To obtain the potable water is called as disinfection. Here we have to kill that bacteria. We don't have to remove it. We have to kill it. Okay. Therefore it is called a disinfection. So it is carried out by treating water either with chlorine gas or bleaching powder or chloramines, and this process is called as chlorination. Chlorination is the process of adding chlorine into the water for disinfection purposes. Now chlorine is available in three forms. Okay, chlorine gas means gaseous form, bleaching powder means solid form, and chloramines means liquid form. So therefore it has three types given. Chlorination is carried out to kill the algae and other bacteria that would otherwise grow and clog the water filters. Okay. So therefore the chlorination is also provided to kill the algae which are present in water. And now all the impurities are removed from the water. We remove the physical impurities, we remove chemical impurities, we remove colloidal impurities, we remove bacteriological impurities, and now the water is fit for the domestic use, and then this water is called as potable water, and this water is now ready for the distribution to the consumer. So water distribution system is provided to supply uninterrupted water for domestic purposes to the consumers through the taps. Now the Bureau of Indian Standards has specified some quality standards for the safe drinking water provided to the consumer under Indian Standard 1050/1991, and this standard has two limits, acceptable limit and permissible limit, in the absence of an alternative source. But if any parameter exceeds the limit, the water is considered unfit for the human consumption. So these standards are very important for the potable water. So some standards are presented here. So pH value 6.5 to 8.5, acceptable limit. The permissible limit, no relaxation, means it is equal to 6.5 to 8.5. The turbidity in nephelometric turbidity unit, acceptable limit is 1, permissible limit is 5. TDS in mg per liter or in ppm. Acceptable limit is 500. Permissible limit is 2000. Total hardness add calcium carbonate in mg per liter. For acceptable limit it is 200 and for permissible limit it is 600. E. coli presence or absence. E. coli मतलब fecal element which are present bacteria which are present fecal bacteria which are present in water shall not be detectable in any 100 ml sample. 0 in 100 ml sample. The same for the permissible limit. Total iron 0.3 mg per liter for both the limits. Fluoride acceptable limit is 1 and permissible limit is 1.5. Residual chlorine 0.2 and 1. Chloride in mg per liter acceptable limit is 250 and permissible limit is 1000. Taste and odor are agreeable for both acceptable as well as permissible limit. It should be taste free and odor free. So these are the standards given by IS 10500 1991. You can see other parameters also by downloading this IS 10500. It is available on Google, so you can download it and study other parameters also, but these are the important parameters. Now today's conclusion is water is very important element to regulate body. So drinking water should be pure and hygienic. Otherwise, people may suffer from various waterborne diseases. Thus, water treatment process aims at supply of high quality drinking water. So, students, what we have studied today? We have studied water treatment process and we have studied the standards for safe drinking water. So these are the references which are used for the outcome of today's lecture. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Happy learning. Again we will meet in the next lecture of MSBTE's E-content. Now let us have a quiz. See you then.